Imagine a place where the past and the future go hand in hand, where ancient temples coexist with futuristic skyscrapers, and tradition meets technology. That place is Japan, a country that enchants with its ability to preserve its roots while leading the world in innovation. From the icy landscapes of Hokkaido to the tropical beaches of Okinawa, Japan offers a variety of scenery as vast as its rich and vibrant culture. And more than just its modern cities and active volcanoes, what really marks out visitors to Japan is the hospitality of its people and the depth of its traditions. Are you ready to discover the most fascinating secrets of this unique country? Let's explore Japan and all it has to offer together. Number 1. Japan is a country made up of an archipelago, i.e. a group of islands, located in the northwest Pacific Ocean. Its islands stretch for more than 3,000 kilometers, forming an arc from the Okhotsk Sea in the north to the East China Sea and Taiwan in the south. In addition, Japan is bordered by the Sea of Japan to the west, which is shared with countries such as Russia, North Korea and South Korea. This geographical location means that Japan has a great connection with the sea, influencing both its climate and its economy, as well as defining natural borders with its neighbors. Japan's geography is also quite varied. The country is made up of thousands of islands, but most of the territory and population is concentrated on 4 main islands. The islands have different characteristics, with mountains, dense forests and coastal areas shaping local life and culture. This geographical diversity makes Japan a unique country, where nature plays a fundamental role in people's daily lives. Number 2. Japan is made up of 4 main islands: Hokkaido, Honshu, Shikoku and Kyushu. Each of these islands has its own characteristics and plays an important role in the country. Hokkaido, for example, is the northernmost island and is known for its cold climate and beautiful mountain scenery, making it a popular destination for skiers and nature lovers. Honshu is the largest and most populous of the islands, home to the country's main cities such as Tokyo, Osaka and Kyoto, as well as being Japan's economic and cultural center. Shikoku, the smallest of the 4 islands, is known for its tranquility and preserved traditions, and is a less busy destination, but much appreciated by those seeking a quieter side of Japan. Finally, Kyushu, located to the south, is the island that combines modernity with tradition, being the cradle of many Japanese cultural influences. These 4 islands together form the heart of Japan and are where most of the country's population and history are concentrated. Number 3. Japan is a country with a population of approximately 126 million people. Most of these people live in the large cities that are concentrated in the coastal regions, especially Tokyo, Osaka, Nagoya and Yokohama. These cities are very dense urban centers where life is hectic, with skyscrapers, crowded trains and a fast pace. Tokyo, for example, is the most populous city in the world, home to millions of people who share a very limited but efficiently organized space. Despite being a country with a lot of people, Japan has a peculiarity. Much of its territory is mountainous and covered in forests, which limits the habitable areas. This means that most people are concentrated in urban areas and flat regions near the coast. Urbanization is a defining aspect of life in Japan, and living in overcrowded cities shapes the daily lives of the Japanese, with a strong sense of community and organization. Number 4. The climate in Japan is quite diverse, varying according to the country's geographical location. In the far north, in Hokkaido, the climate is subarctic, with harsh, long winters characterized by heavy snowfalls. It is a popular destination for those who enjoy winter sports such as skiing and snowboarding. However, as you descend towards the south, the climate begins to change. On Honshu and the southernmost islands such as Kyushu and Shikoku, the climate is temperate, with hot summers and milder winters. In the far south, in Okinawa, the climate is subtropical, with mild temperatures all year round, idyllic beaches and lots of tropical vegetation. This climatic variation also has an impact on agriculture and daily life in Japan. In the north, the seasons are well defined, with snowy winters and short summers, while in the south, temperatures are milder, allowing for a greater diversity of crops and outdoor activities. In addition, Japan is affected by rainy seasons and typhoons, especially on the southern islands, which also influence people's routines and the local economy. Japan's climate is a reflection of the country's natural diversity and contributes to the richness of its landscapes and lifestyles. Number 5. Japan's name in Japanese is Nippon or Neon, which means land of the rising sun. This name has a special meaning because Japan is located to the east of Asia and is the first place on the continent where the sun rises every morning. Since ancient times, the Japanese have been proud of this idea, seeing their country as the land where the new day begins, bringing light to the world. The meaning of Nippon is so important to the country that it is even represented on their flag, with the red circle symbolizing the sun. Interestingly, the name Japan that we use in Portuguese and many other languages comes from an adaptation made by Chinese and Malaysian traders. They called the country something like Japan, and this name was taken to Europe by the Portuguese in the 16th century. Over time, this version of the name became popular outside Japan, but for the Japanese themselves, the country has always been and still is the land of the rising sun, reflecting their pride and identity. If you're enjoying exploring Japan with us, don't forget to leave your like and comment below. We want to know what has impressed you most so far, the incredible landscapes or the age-old traditions. And if you have any curiosities or want to see more about this fascinating country, comment here too. We're looking forward to your suggestions. Number 6. Tokyo is the capital of Japan and the largest city in the world, both in terms of population and global influence. With more than 37 million people in its metropolitan area, Tokyo is a veritable hub of activity, where everything happens at a fast pace. The city combines extreme modernity with skyscrapers, cutting-edge technology and a highly efficient transportation system, with respect for traditions, reflected in ancient temples and historic districts. Tokyo was once a small fishing village called Edo, but it has grown into a gigantic metropolis and the economic, cultural and political heart of Japan. As well as being the center of power in the country, Tokyo is famous for being a vibrant place for business, entertainment and culture. People who live there experience the fusion of old and new, with traditional neighborhoods like Asakusa coexisting with ultramodern areas like Shibuya and Shinjuku, which never sleep. The city is also home to a huge variety of tourist attractions such as temples, museums, large parks and the famous Shibuya intersection, considered the busiest in the world. Tokyo is a city where tradition meets the future, making it a fascinating place for residents and visitors alike. Number 7. Japan is the third largest economy in the world, behind only the United States and China. Even though it is a relatively small country with few natural resources, Japan has managed to stand out globally thanks to its capacity for innovation and its strong manufacturing industry. The country is known for its high-quality exports, especially cars and electronics. Brands such as Toyota, Sony and Panasonic are known around the world for their excellence and cutting-edge technology. A large part of the Japanese economy depends on these exports, which generate billions of dollars every year. Japan also excels in areas such as robotics and artificial intelligence, and is one of the world leaders in technological innovation. The Japanese economy is very focused on transforming imported raw materials into high-quality finished products, which are sold both within the country and exported around the world. This industrial efficiency and investment in technology has helped Japan recover quickly after economic crises and maintain its position as one of the leading global economic powers. Number 8. Japan, despite being an economic powerhouse, has few natural resources available on its territory. The country has a limited amount of arable land and is highly dependent on imports of raw materials such as oil, natural gas and minerals. This means that Japan needs to import a large part of its energy and food requirements, which makes efficiency in industrial production even more crucial for its economy. Agriculture, although an important part of the country's culture and tradition, employs a small percentage of the population due to the scarcity of agricultural land. On the other hand, Japan makes up for this lack of resources with its rich fishing industry and advanced technology. Fishing is a central activity for the country, both for domestic consumption and for export. Japan is one of the largest consumers of fish in the world, and fishing plays a vital role in feeding the population. In addition, the country has invested heavily in technological innovation, being a world leader in robotics and automation, which helps to compensate for the lack of natural resources with creative and technological solutions. Number 9. Japan is located in a geologically active region known as the Pacific Belt of Fire, where several tectonic plates meet. This makes the country highly susceptible to earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Japan is one of the most seismically active countries in the world, and events such as tremors and quakes are part of everyday life. The country invests heavily in technology and infrastructure to protect its cities and citizens, with buildings specially designed to withstand earthquakes. In addition, the Japanese are trained from an early age to know how to act in the event of an earthquake. In addition to earthquakes, Japan is also home to many active volcanoes. The most famous of these is Mount Fuji, which, as well as being a major tourist attraction and a national symbol, is an active volcano. The combination of earthquakes and volcanoes is part of Japan's natural landscape, and it has also shaped the way the Japanese live and build their cities. Despite these natural challenges, The country has developed an impressive resilience, both technological and cultural, to deal with these phenomena. Number 10. In 2011, Japan suffered one of the biggest natural disasters in its history, the Tohoku earthquake, which reached a magnitude of 9.0 on the Richter scale. This was the strongest earthquake ever recorded in the country and one of the largest in the world. It caused a devastating tsunami that hit the northeastern coast of Japan, with waves that exceeded 10 meters in height in some areas. Coastal towns were severely affected, resulting in thousands of deaths, missing people and a huge destruction of infrastructure. The disaster also led to one of the biggest nuclear accidents in history, with the explosion at the Fukushima plant. The Tohoku tragedy left deep scars on Japan, both physically and emotionally. However, the country has shown an incredible ability to bounce back. The Japanese government, with the help of the international community, has implemented a gigantic recovery and reconstruction operation in the affected areas. In addition, the event reinforced the importance of earthquake and tsunami warning systems, and Japan continued to improve its technologies to mitigate the impacts of future natural disasters. The strength and resilience of the Japanese people stood out during this period, and the country, although deeply affected, continues to learn and prepare for future natural challenges. Number 11. Japanese culture is deeply rooted in concepts of respect, harmony, and courtesy. From an early age, the Japanese are taught to value politeness and to show respect in their daily interactions, whether with family, friends, or even strangers. A striking example of this courtesy is the habit of bowing when greeting or thanking someone. This gesture, known as ajiji, is a traditional way of showing respect. In addition, public behavior is carefully guided by rules of etiquette, where harmony in social interaction is always prioritized, ensuring that everyone feels comfortable and respected. Another interesting aspect of Japanese culture is the aversion to tipping, which is common in many countries. In Japan, tipping can be interpreted as a disrespectful gesture, since good service is considered an obligation of the service provider, not something that should be rewarded financially. Respect for cleanliness and organization is also fundamental. In many places, it is customary to take off your shoes before entering, especially where there are tatami mats, to preserve the cleanliness and harmony of the environment. Japanese culture, with its age-old traditions and codes of conduct, strongly values mutual respect and living together in harmony. Number 12. Mount Fuji is Japan's highest point at 3,776 meters and is considered one of the country's most important symbols. Located on the island of Honshu, Mount Fuji is an active volcano, although its last eruption occurred in 1707. Its symmetrical and majestic shape makes it one of the best-known landscapes in the world, and it is often depicted in works of art, photographs, and literature. More than just a mountain, Mount Fuji has a deep spiritual significance for the Japanese, being considered sacred and a place of pilgrimage for many. Every year, thousands of people, both Japanese and tourists, climb Mount Fuji as part of a centuries-old tradition. During the climbing season, it's common to see groups of people climbing to the top to watch the sunrise, a moment full of symbolism. Mount Fuji is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is surrounded by national parks, lakes and forests, making it an unmissable natural attraction for nature and adventure lovers. Mount Fuji's presence in Japanese culture goes beyond its beauty. It represents the strength, serenity, and spirituality that are part of Japan's essence. Number 13. Yokohama is Japan's second-largest city and plays a crucial role as an important port and commercial center. Located to the south of Tokyo, it is part of the capital's large metropolitan area, but retains its own identity. Since the 19th century, Yokohama has stood out as one of Japan's first ports open to foreign trade, after the country's period of isolation. This made the city a meeting point between cultures, with a strong Western influence that is still visible today in its architecture and cosmopolitan atmosphere. As well as being a commercial hub, Yokohama is also a popular tourist destination, with attractions that mix the traditional and the modern. One of the city's most famous sites is Minato Mirai, a waterfront area full of skyscrapers, shopping centers, museums, and parks. Yokohama is also home to Japan's largest Chinatown, full of restaurants and stores that reflect the city's multicultural heritage. The combination of its historic past and vibrant modern life makes Yokohama a city full of charm and dynamism, attracting both tourists and people looking for new business opportunities. Number 14. Japan's ancient history is marked by the development of an agricultural society and the emergence of its first permanent villages around 300 BC. At this time, Japan began to form its own cultural identity, and agriculture became a vital part of everyday life. Over time, outside influences, especially from China and Korea, brought new ideas and technologies to the archipelago. One of these major influences was Buddhism, which arrived in Japan in the 6th century and profoundly shaped Japanese culture, art, and spirituality. Around the 5th century, the first centralized states emerged, the most important being the Yamato Empire, which unified the country and established the basis of Japanese government. During the Nara period, in the 8th century, Japan's capital was established in the city of Nara, and the country began to adopt a more organized political and social structure, based on Chinese models. This was a time of cultural growth, in which many of Japan's traditions and customs began to take hold. Japan's ancient history is full of transformations that have led to what we know today, mixing external influences with the creation of a unique and rich culture. Number 15, the Edo period, which began in 1603 and lasted until 1868, was one of the most important moments in Japan's history. For more than 250 years, Japan lived under the rule of the Tokugawa shogunate, which established a rigid political and social order. This period was marked by almost complete isolation from the rest of the world, known as Sakoku, in which Japan closed its doors to foreign trade and influence. This policy of isolation allowed the country to develop its culture and economy internally, without external interference, guaranteeing a long period of peace and stability. Despite being closed to the outside world, Japan flourished culturally during the Edo period. It was during this time that many of the traditions we associate with Japan, such as kabuki theater, ukiyo-e prints and bushido, the samurai code of honor, gained strength. Cities grew and a prosperous merchant class emerged, bringing new forms of art and entertainment to the public. At the end of the Edo period, Japan was forced to open its doors to foreign trade, which initiated major political and social changes, leading to the modernization of the country. The Edo period, however, left a lasting mark on Japanese culture, shaping many of the customs and values that persist to this day. If you enjoyed this trip through Japan, don't forget to leave a like. It really helps the channel and encourages us to bring you more amazing content like this. And if you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss out on the next adventures. Number 16, Japanese cuisine is world famous for its diversity and flavor, with sushi being the best known dish. Sushi, prepared with seasoned rice and a variety of seafood, is enjoyed all over the world, but it is only one part of Japan's rich gastronomy. Other popular dishes include ramen, a very tasty noodle soup, and tempura, which are vegetables or seafood breaded and fried. These dishes reflect the simplicity and delicacy that characterize Japanese cuisine, always seeking to enhance the natural flavor of the ingredients. In addition to these dishes, there are a multitude of regional and seasonal options that make Japanese cuisine a true sensory experience. Sashimi, for example, is thinly sliced raw fish, appreciated for its texture and freshness. Japan is also known for its precision and attention to detail in the presentation of dishes, where each meal is designed to harmonize colors, flavors, and textures. The culture of food in Japan is so important that many dishes are prepared following ancient traditions, making cuisine an essential part of the country's identity and cultural heritage. Number 17, Osaka is one of Japan's most important and vibrant cities, and the third largest in the country. Historically, Osaka is known as the commercial heart of Japan, with a rich heritage of trade and industry dating back to the 15th century. Over the centuries, the city has grown into a major economic and industrial center, and today it remains a pillar of the Japanese economy. In addition, Osaka is famous for its cuisine and is often referred to as the cuisine of Japan. Typical dishes such as takoyaki, octopus dumplings, and okonomiyaki, stuffed pancakes, are very popular with locals and tourists alike. Culturally, Osaka also offers a rich history. The city is home to the famous Osaka Castle, built by Toyotomi Hideyoshi in the 16th century, which is an important symbol of the city and a popular tourist attraction. In addition, Osaka has a lively nightlife, with neighborhoods such as Dotonbori, famous for its neon lights, restaurants, and cultural activities. The combination of history, modernity, and vibrant cuisine makes Osaka a must-see destination in Japan, attracting millions of visitors every year and maintaining a welcoming and dynamic atmosphere. Number 18, Japan's traditional arts are deeply rooted in the country's history and culture, reflecting an aesthetic of simplicity, balance, and connection with nature. Among the best-known art forms is calligraphy, called shodo, which is the art of writing characters with brush and ink, being much more than a form of writing, but also an artistic and spiritual expression. Japanese ceramics, famous for their elegance and simplicity, are also highly prized. From rustic vases to refined pieces for tea ceremonies, ceramics reflect the harmony between functionality and beauty. Another outstanding traditional art is ikebana, the delicate and contemplative floral arrangement that seeks to create a connection between man and nature through the balance and shape of flowers. Origami, the art of paper folding, is another example of how simplicity can create beauty, transforming a simple sheet of paper into detailed and symbolic figures. Japan is also known for its traditional theater such as kabuki and no, which combine dramatic performances, elaborate costumes and music. All these arts reflect the Japanese appreciation for simplicity, elegance and respect for tradition, which continue to be preserved and practiced to this day. Number 19. Traditional sports occupy a special place in Japanese culture, the most emblematic of which is sumo. Sumo, considered Japan's national sport, is a form of wrestling that dates back more than 1,500 years. Two wrestlers, known as rikishi, face each other in a circular ring, with the aim of knocking their opponent down or forcing them out of the circle. Sumo goes beyond a physical sport, being a tradition deeply linked to spirituality and religious ceremonies, with rituals that are part of every fight, such as purifying the ring with salt. In addition to sumo, baseball is another extremely popular sport in Japan. Introduced at the end of the 19th century, baseball has become a true national passion, with highly competitive professional leagues and fanatical fans. Soccer has also grown in popularity since the creation of the J-League in the 1990s, and Japan often excels in international competitions. In addition, due to its mountainous geography and beautiful nature, Japan is a great destination for outdoor sports such as hiking and cycling, with Mount Fuji being one of the most iconic destinations for these activities. Sports in Japan, both traditional and modern, play an important role in the country's social and cultural life. Number 20. Japan is the birthplace of several martial arts that are practiced all over the world, each with its own set of principles, techniques and philosophy. Karate, for example, is one of the best-known martial arts, focusing on precise blows with the hands and feet, as well as valuing discipline, self-control and self-defense. Judo, on the other hand, which became popular at the end of the 19th century, is based on knocking down and immobilizing the opponent using strength and balance to your advantage. Judo also stands out for being one of the first martial arts to become an Olympic sport. Aikido is another Japanese martial art, which differs in that it uses the opponent's energy against itself, rather than focusing on direct attacks. With circular and fluid movements, Aikido seeks to resolve conflicts in a peaceful and controlled manner. Kendo, on the other hand, is the art of swordsmanship, where practitioners use bamboo swords, shurnai, and wear protective armor. Finally, ninjutsu, practiced by legendary ninjas, is a martial art that combines espionage, infiltration and stealth combat. All these martial arts carry a strong tradition of discipline, self-control and respect, values that are central to the practice in Japan and around the world. Number 21. Traditional Japanese architecture is an expression of simplicity, functionality and connection with nature. Traditional houses are mainly built with wood, a material that offers flexibility and durability, especially in a country prone to earthquakes. One of the most notable aspects of Japanese architecture are the sliding doors called shoji and fusuma, made of wood and paper, which allow natural light to enter and create flexible spaces, dividing or joining rooms according to need. This adaptation to the surrounding space and nature is one of the fundamental principles of Japanese architecture. Gardens are another important part of Japanese architecture and design, reflecting the harmony between man and nature. Japanese gardens are carefully designed to create tranquil and contemplative environments, often using elements such as rocks, water and plants to represent miniature landscapes. In addition, the use of tatami, straw mats, on the floors of houses brings a soft and cozy texture, reinforcing the feeling of simplicity and comfort. The design of Japanese houses emphasizes natural ventilation, the use of soft light and integration with the outside environment, creating a space of calm and balance. Number 22. Kyoto was Japan's imperial capital for over 1,000 years and remains one of the country's most important cultural and historical centers. Known for its preservation of ancient temples, shrines and palaces, Kyoto is home to 17 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, reflecting its historical importance. During the Second World War, the city was spared bombing raids, allowing its cultural treasures to be preserved. Today, Kyoto is famous for its Buddhist temples such as Kinkakuji, known as the Golden Pavilion, and Ryoanji, famous for its Zen rock garden. In addition to its religious and architectural importance, Kyoto is also the heart of traditional Japanese culture. The city is known for its tea ceremonies, the art of kimono making and the presence of the iconic geishas, who are artists trained in traditional music and dance. Kyoto is also a popular destination during spring, when the cherry blossoms fill the city with their beautiful pink colors. The city is a real haven for those who want to immerse themselves in ancient Japanese culture and feel the traditional spirit that still lives in its streets and temples. Number 23. Hiroshima is a city that carries one of the most tragic episodes in world history. On August 6, 1945, during the Second World War, the city was hit by the first atomic bomb used in combat, dropped by the United States. The explosion devastated most of Hiroshima, killing more than 140,000 people and leaving a deep scar on the collective memory of Japan and the world. Despite the destruction, Hiroshima was reborn from the ashes and became a global symbol of peace and reconstruction. Today, Hiroshima is a modern and prosperous city, but the memory of the atomic disaster lives on. The Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park, which includes the atomic bomb dome, is one of the city's most visited sites, serving as a reminder of the horrors of war and a plea for world peace. The museum in the park details the impact of the atomic bombing and honors the victims. The city, with its rich cultural and industrial heritage, is now an example of resilience and a destination that reflects both Japan's history and future. Number 24. Japan is known worldwide for its highly efficient and technologically advanced transportation system. The highlight of this system are the bullet trains, known as Shinkansen, which connect the country's main cities at high speed. These trains can reach speeds of up to 320 km per hour, allowing passengers to travel from Tokyo to Osaka, for example, in around 2.5 hours. As well as being fast, the Shinkansen are extremely punctual and safe, with a record of almost no serious accidents since their inauguration in 1964. In addition to bullet trains, Japan also has one of the most advanced and organized subway systems in the world, especially in big cities like Tokyo and Osaka. The subway networks are extensive, connecting urban neighborhoods efficiently and making it easier for both residents and tourists to get around. Another notable aspect is the integration between different types of transportation, such as buses, trains and subways, which make mobility within Japanese cities extremely convenient. This transport efficiency reflects Japan's discipline and technological innovation, allowing millions of people to move around in an orderly manner on a daily basis. Number 25. Japan has a remarkable global influence in many areas, from technology and automobiles to pop culture and design. Japanese companies such as Toyota, Sony and Nintendo are world leaders in their sectors and have contributed significantly to the global economy and technological innovation. Japan's electronics industry, for example, has pioneered a number of innovations that have shaped the modern world, from high-quality televisions to video game consoles that have revolutionized entertainment. In addition, Japan is a leader in robotics and automation, developing technologies that are exported and used all over the world. Culturally, Japan also exerts a huge influence through its forms of art and entertainment. Anime and manga, Japanese forms of animation and comics, have won fans globally, becoming a cultural phenomenon that transcends borders. Japan's minimalist aesthetic, inspired by Zen philosophy, has also impacted areas such as interior design, fashion and architecture around the world. Japanese cuisine, especially sushi, is another form of cultural influence that has gained popularity on every continent. Japan continues to be a cultural and economic superpower, shaping trends and inspiring the world with its innovation and creativity. And so we come to the end of this journey through Japan, a country where the ancient and the modern coexist in a fascinating way. From its stunning landscapes to its rich culture and cutting-edge technology, Japan has shown us that it is a unique place in the world. If you were as enchanted as we were, be sure to share this video with your friends and tell them what impressed you the most. Thanks for following us here and keep exploring the world with us. See you in the next video.